So let me explain in a little bit more detail. Let's say you have your big project, the big vision you want to entertain, and it's like a Series A investment or a big proposal, $10 million. And you say, okay, this is going to return $100 million. Now, if you were doing a traditional accounting, you'd have to stop right there, because anything less than this and you're not going to get funded. But let's just go ahead and be honest. It could be 100 million, or it could be 0, or it could be anything in between. And what's more than that is that as you go through time, you're going to have different valuations as you get closer and learn more about the market. So an innovation option simply takes all of those possibilities, discounts them and their expected value, and produces the sum of them together. That's the value of your option. Now, this math actually comes from standard financial option pricing theory. And so we could use those equations to be able to generate that number. And here they are. Okay, sorry, hold on. Nobody run for the door. This is why God created software. But look, the financial equations, they are somewhat complicated. A version of this won the Nobel Prize, after all. But at its basic point, it's simply saying there's a range of potential outcomes. We need to figure out which is which. Okay? So we start with this potential range of things, and we say, okay, $10 million is what we're going to spend to invest in the project. That's what I'm suggesting we'll do in the future. Now we want to predict a range. That's the first input, what you're going to spend. The second input is the range of possible outcomes. So we'll say it's $100 million. You don't have to guess the worst case scenario. We know what it is. It's 0. And then the last thing we simply need to do is say, how many iterations are we going to do over what period of time? So we'll say in this instance, we'll do quarterly innovations over the course of a year. From these 3 simple inputs, how much you're planning on spending, the range of return, and a frequency of iteration, you can use these financial equations to actually calculate the value of this option. $10 million, 0 to 100, 4 iterations of a year. Today, the value of that option is $3.3 million. Now, that doesn't come for free, the 4 iterations over the course of a year. So you actually have to propose the budget that says, okay, if we need to find out what this answer is, we're going to need some money to do so. So we'll say, over the course of the year, we're going to spend $1 million. Consider this your seed investment. This is your lean startup premium. And so if the value is 3.3, and you're going to spend $1 million to find out the answer as your premium, your return on investment today is $2.3 million. Lean startup, positive ROI. Yes. Now, we can also do a little bit more. You get your check, you've got your $1 million. Now it's up to you to learn. So let's start learning. When you see the pricing tree, what you'll start to notice is that every node is connected to another by a simple of very simple moves. It goes up, it goes down, or it remains the same. Therefore, in order to determine the value of your innovation option, you only need to answer one question. Given what we have learned since the last iteration, are we better off, worse off, or about the same as we were before? Now notice we don't have to do any recalculation, there's no re-estimation, there's no market machination. This is a very simple question that anybody can answer. And obviously it's designed to work with Lean Startup, but it's completely tactic agnostic. If you wanted to use StageGate or some other agile process or whatever you want to come up with, as long as it iterates on a relative frequency and it produces market learning, you can use it to value your current activities. So let's look at this in practice. Let's say you get your $1 million, you start to explore the market, you've got your plan that says it's going to be worth what it is, and you start to do your market testing. You start to test your leap of faith assumptions using Lean Startup method. And after the first quarter, you sit down with your finance board and you say, we got really, really good results. We've got this validated learning, signed projects. Finance agrees and says, great, let's plus this option. The value immediately jumps to 8.9. You go to the next quarter, things are still really good, you're very excited, the value now jumps automatically. Third quarter, it didn't go as well as you had hoped or had planned, but we didn't crater either, so we're gonna call it station keeping. Finally get to the last quarter, sales were awesome, things are gangbusters, they couldn't possibly be better, we're going to uptick. Now you can see that the value of the option of 46 million is a positive option. We should make this investment. Sometimes things don't always go great. So let's say you go to the first quarter, positive results, but then things start to go sideways, and then uh-oh, things are going bad. Nothing that I said would happen has happened, things are all bad. Now the value of your option is worth 0. Notice, you don't have to spend $10 million to find out it's nothing. That's the purpose of the option. So we're gonna pass. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna spend $10 million to lose. Now, something else that's very interesting is that sometimes things go really bad. And so you don't see any good news whatsoever. And so for 6 straight months, you go down in the toilet. At this point, you can see and recognize that there's no possible way you can start to generate positive value no matter what you do. So this is clearly a case where we need to pivot. Now notice, there's no drama about this. There's no angst or figuring out, oh, should I, shouldn't I? It's a very simple financial calculation. And we should obviously apply the scarce resources of the firm to something that's going to be more effective. And we now have the time to do it because we figured it out halfway through. And when you schedule these in advance, these decisions become much, much simpler. So as we can see, the process of going through our assumption testing has generated a new price for the option at every step of the process. We are measuring learning. What we need to do as product people, in dollars, what finance needs to do their job. Because the last time I looked, learning is what we need to be doing, but it does not appear on any balance sheet.